Hello, everybody, and welcome to Detroit Comics Party. I'm Mr. Kevin. That's my new name on the show. This is episode number 400. And this
20.
Today, 420, episode 420. You can see we all love weed, and we're all real high right now. Mike especially. Just kidding.
God.
Do you want me to start over?
No. I just don't want people to think I'm high. I hate
You're
that
not.
the most.
You're the only person I know who's allergic to weed.
Yeah.
Like violently.
That's interesting.
Violently.
Wow.
Oh, but
Sorry for your loss, dude.
what the intro was supposed to contain was to say that our very good friend Yhasmin Wilder is here today with us
Hello.
to visit and speak to us about a very exciting
Yes.
life that you have and exciting event that's happening very soon.
Yeah, so I am Yhasmin. My pronouns are they and them, and I am the organizer for Detroit Zine Fest. Unfortunately, my co-organizer couldn't be here with me tonight, but I'm very excited to talk about the fest and just kind of enlighten you both and give you a little bit of information.
Well, we're very happy to have you here to do that. Can you give us some more information?
Yes.
So Detroit Zine Fest is a labor of love, absolutely nonprofit, and it is happening on March 5th, which is a Saturday at the Jam Handy in Detroit.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be 40 local and out-of-town artists that come in and trade their zines, which are self-published, non-commercial, small publications that can be about anything. They can be from DIY, instructional, political, perzines, personal diaries, journals, poems, comics. I hear you guys like comics.
Even comics are allowed at this.
So yeah, like I said, local and out-of-town makers, and I hope it's going to be a really good turnout and a really good event.
I'm sure it will be. It sounds very good, and Mike and I will be there.
Heck yeah.
I think so.
I hope so. Please send me a cancellation email.
I was
at
on
least.
the really cool spreadsheet that I got.
You
at
were
an
on the
email.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I was very proud of my spreadsheet.
I was very proud that we're the only one whose pronouns are use guys.
Oh my gosh.
I did not see that.
Guys. This is how you're being represented. Are you comfortable with that?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes. What else did you put on there?
I like
You don't want to know.
Detroit Comics Party was in all caps. We were the only one. I think there was a couple other kind of brandy style names that were in all caps, and then we were the outlier in the
We were the
name.
outlier.
But I'm
Is
ready
this
to
over?
Oh, yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
for being here. Thank you for having me. I'm going to go take all your candy.
But I was trying to think, where did we meet at Trumbleplex Zine Fest? Aeons ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
2013. We met at Trumbleplex Zine Fest.
2013?
Yeah.
Holy
No.
cow.
You know what? It might have been 2016. That's when I made my first zine. And I took that first zine to the Trumbleplex, and I was very, very proud of myself with my first 4-page zine.
Well, it was dope. I mean, it must have been
so
dope
long
because
ago.
because I mean, who were the Julie F was there, and they're a maniac, and I think they might be out of our league a little bit, but you and Molly Jeffrey Blob Life were the standout incredible hits from that
Thanks.
ages ago.
Thanks so
Trumbleplex.
much.
And that might have been the last. Was that the last Trumbleplex Zine Fest?
Yeah, I think it was the only one because the next year I remember there was a Detroit Comics Party.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one of the organizers there, and I was like, okay, when's yours? And they were like, don't talk to me. No, they were a lot nicer than that. But essentially, they were like, no, we're not going to do it again. So that was unfortunate. And I was just, a little baby in the zine world. So at that time, I was like, I got to find more Zine Fest to go to. And thankfully, my friend Evie, who I met at an anime convention, had zines on their table when we met. And I was just enamored because I had accidentally bought a zine at TCAF, Toronto Comic Arts Fair,
It happens now and then.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug.
Just buying stuff.
Yeah, Evangelion, I buy everything. So I didn't even know it was a zine. And so when I figured out, or I was just showing everyone it, they're like, yeah, that zine's pretty cool. I'm like, it's a what now?
You're like, this is a very slow movie.
Yeah, so
it's a low frame rate
when
animation.
I found more zines,
Yeah.
I like lost my mind, and I, immediately became fast friends with Evie, who's my co-organizer. And from there, we've been traveling to Zine Fest everywhere. We go as far as Toronto. We've gone everywhere to go to Zine Fest, and we even go to Grand Rapids Zine Fest, which is wonderful, and those organizers are super wonderful and super helpful, so shout out to Sarah and Austin. But then we were like, where's ours though? Where's ours? Like, we're in the middle of Detroit, like,
right,
all of this culture, all of these artists, like, where's Detroit Zine Fest? And so, like, I Googled it and everything. And I know there's events, like there was the Trumbleplex, which was, I think, a one-off for the most part. There's Detroit Comics parties. There was the Detroit Art Book Fair.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
nothing towards zines,
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. And I've gone to all those events, by the way. I'm a little obsessed.
Yeah.
But,
How's Toronto? We've never been to
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
We went out to Zine Fest held by the Non-Binary Color Collective.
Oh, cool.
And it was just so nice to meet other people of color, other trans people, queer people. It was just such a good time.
Sounds
and
really cool.
So we would drive there even to spend just the day. Like, we wouldn't have a hotel or anything.
Yeah.
We would drive there, unpack, sell our wares, trade with people, and then get back in the car and drive back. And my friend literally went to work when we got back. I was like, we were like, wow, we're committed to the zine thing.
That's the impression I got from y'all was
Yeah,
a very high-powered, super
I may own
turbo person.
Close to almost 300 titles, neatly tucked away in Tupperwares.
Neatly.
Neatly.
You'll have to tell me more about neatly. I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, zines are just so fun. They have such a low barrier for entry. And I get to hear from people and learn from people of all backgrounds, cultures, abilities, like status, everything. So I can't get enough of them. Like, whenever I see someone say like zine, like they could like have a hint of a thought of zine, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to support my friends. I support all my friends. I encourage them to make zines. It's just so fun. You get to see pieces of people that I don't think normally come up in conversation,
That's cool. Do you feel like for you've been able to, what are some of those pieces?
So I am a non-binary trans person, but I haven't had any surgeries. I haven't been on any hormones, no hormone replacement therapy or anything. So if someone just passes me on the street, they, because I was assigned female at birth, they would just be like, girl, okay. So when I hand them a zine, or they pick up a zine of mine and they read through it, they're like, oh, there's a lot more to this. And I didn't think that, these parts are just because someone looks a certain way or passes as cis that you were non-binary. I'm sorry. Or, whatever. It just opens up a conversation. They don't have to be sorry or anything. It's just really wonderful. Like,
that's cool.
I've made zines to basically my zines are zines or personal zines. And they tend to deal with my identity and how I navigate through the world and interact with it and engage with it. So my latest zine is called Body, and it's about my relationship with my body. I am, of course, AFAB, fat, black, and a lot of people don't like those things, especially when combined.
What's not to like?
What's not to like? Yeah, it's a triple threat. Like, come on. But I made a zine about it because those societal pressures and what is deemed normal or healthy or this or that can be really stifling. They can make you have a really low self-esteem and a really negative view of yourself, even though you haven't. It's learned, basically. It's learned from your society and learned by how you're treated. Yeah. So I treated myself and had a very negative view of myself. But one day it wasn't exactly like a light switch. It was like a dimmer. And it slowly got a little more bright. And I was just like, why do I not like my meat suit? Who says I can't like it? And I made a zine about it.
That's awesome. That's some next level shit For real.
Yeah, it's fun. I encourage everyone to make a zine. You can make it with one piece of paper, fold it up with a little cut in it, make a zine. Like, just make it for your friends, make it for yourself. You don't even have to share it. You don't have to sell it. But just to kind of explore, it's kind of really helpful and therapeutic, in my opinion, to make a zine and work on it.
Yeah.
And you can make it in so many ways, you know, like you can just have a pen and paper, you can have your tablet, you can have your collage materials. Like, there's so many ways to approach zine making that I never get tired of it, as you can tell.
Yeah. So what are your, I mean, I've seen your zines, but how do you, like, what's your process of actually making one? Are you illustrating on the computer, or are you doing pencils, or?
It is a mixed bag, to be honest. Every time I make a zine, I approach it differently every single time. But because I like comics, and I kind of approach it like the standard comic process. So I start with an idea, with a script of sorts, go on to like thumbnails, and I approach it a lot like a comic. And I mainly make comic zines, which I should have mentioned. So yeah, I have a huge soft spot in my heart for comic zines. So I don't care what they're about. If you put art in sequential order in panels, chef's kiss.
That was a teeny chef's kiss.
The tiniest chef's kiss for them.
For little zine. Little zine kiss.
That's what they get. So yeah.
That's awesome. So have you gotten a lot, you feel like you've tricked lots of people into making zines now?
I have tricked at least, well, actually there's a person, I won't out them, but there's a person who applied for the Zine Fest, and they put that I had introduced them to zines at an anime convention. And I had remembered that, but I never thought that the person would remember. But I told them at the time, far back, it was like 2019, I was like, I'm putting together a Zine Fest. It'd be so awesome if, you applied and things like that. And they remembered and they applied and they stuck by their word.
That's
so
cool.
I was like, at least one person has been tricked, just lured into my trap. Like,
I think we were saying after we did the Comics Party Expo that the only logical next step was to start a cult.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I still think there's a lot of gas in that tank.
I do too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no cult.
But
I'm grounding both of you.
Think about it though. You got all the followers to make the zines, and the net effect of that was a positive effect, not a negative effect.
But you have to watch, because cults a lot of the time start with good intentions, and then
that's kind of the thing. They're cults.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, or whatever. But like, look at these wimpy boys who would lead us. Like, we would not be corrupted, and we would find a business element of the cult that would pay for everyone to just hang out and make sweet books all the time.
Okay, you're kind of drawing me in.
End of the whole philosophy of the cult.
You're kind of drawing me in.
And we would go sometimes to small press shows, zine fairs, and if we did... And I was thinking, can I talk about Church of Gentle Printers? Can I talk about the Church of Gentle Printers idea?
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, it's easy to start a church, which is not taxable. And we have in Detroit, like, countercultural printers, like, history.
That's cool.
So I was thinking about, I don't know about who you work for, but I've only worked for psychomaniac print shop owners.
Oh, no.
Is there another one?
So,
another kind?
I think my print shop owners are super cool. So, sorry.
That I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Oh, gosh.
But, so I've worked for, like, maniacs. And
I'm sorry for that.
Like, I could feel the anxiety of their mayhem, like, when I'm at work. But I was thinking, okay, so we start the Church of Gentle Printers. People who only print gently.
Oh.
And this is the whole philosophy would be, we'd be like the sweeping monks, The ground will always be dusty. It doesn't matter how much you sweep. And So I was thinking a church can make money from doing a thing, and we would just take enough print jobs and print them as gently as possible to keep ourselves afloat. Even if it was just us three in a half of a warehouse, that'd be sweet. If then we had like 3 sick drafting tables and we were just like paid
Just
to
working
make zines.
and
Yeah.
having a good time making zines. Okay, you're kind of selling me on this.
But I think an energy for like, I must exploit my cult minions. I think that's crass and that's yucky. Or if we're, the way a print shop makes money is that they don't print gently.
Yeah, they print like,
They print aggressively.
yeah.
Like it's a VIP client. It has to be out by 4, and that's not gentle. So I was thinking, there's something here.
We're going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested.
And, Julia's got print industry experience. I think they'd come back home
Just
for something that was
just
like
lure them
completely-
back for the awesome print experience that is the Gentle Printers.
I know. That's what I've been thinking about. I tried to have an aggressive. I had tried to have my own freelance aggressive printing company, and now I
didn't work
just
out.
I owe the tax man a bunch of money.
Oh no! Oh no!
Or they think I owe him a bunch of money. It really wasn't profitable. That's why we don't do it anymore.
There were several parts of this conversation I pictured being played back to us in court.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I didn't say anything incriminating.
Just in like 10 years or so.
Oh no, you've been very professional.
I tried. Thank you.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just fucking around with the camera again.
But yeah, you were very excited. Do you have any questions? Do you have any interest about the Zine Fest? Like, well, of course, because I'm here. But
Do you feel like you got a wide dynamic range of participants, of artists?
oh yeah, I'm super excited about the range of participants. Everyone from novices, quote unquote, to like seasoned people who go to Zine Fest all the time, every single weekend. We have families that are tabling together. Like, I'm very excited to meet a mother and son who are like, they make zines together.
What?
Is that not the coolest thing ever?
That's fucking fantastic.
I am literally so excited. I was like, I'm going to buy their table out. I don't care. Like, I'm literally going to just buy everything. I cannot wait. And yeah, maybe I am just mad with power because I'm just going to spend all my money on everyone's stuff personally. So I'm like, did I just trick everyone into, like, all the zine makers to go to the same spot on the same day so I could purchase all of their goods? Is it me? Am I the evil one? Am I the drama?
No.
Doesn't seem evil.
That's why we did Comics Party, is so that we could get all the best cats that we love the most all at
Yeah.
the same place at the same time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Comics Party. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, do you have like no desire to do a Comics Party in the future?
As far as the expo,
Yeah, like, or
yes,
like,
I have no desire to do it in the future.
it's a lot of work.
If I retire or something,
Oh, yeah,
somehow,
that would be
Then
cool.
I would absolutely do it.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's
Organizing is a
beyond-
lot of work. It
Oh
is.
my God.
When was the most recent Comics Party? 5
couple
years ago?
I don't even think it's that long. It's less
I
than
think
you.
it was a while.
It might be 4 years ago.
But
Okay.
so 4
It's
years
4 or
ago,
5.
if you go down the Wikipedia list of symptoms for PTSD, I still have all of those
Oh
about
gosh.
putting on
Yeah.
both the comics parties.
Yep.
It's very stressful. I don't know exactly what your experience was, but it can be a lot, like, especially when, like, your phone's pinging, people are emailing, like, you've got things to do, you've got to get information to people. It can be quite just, like, a lot, to say the least, a lot. But I'm so passionate about this. I'm so passionate about Detroit Zine Fest, and I really wanted to see it happen. I don't want to say even if only once, because I really want it to be an annual event. But I do see myself getting more volunteers.
Yeah.
Because when we started in 2019, for example, my co-organizer had like 2 jobs and I'm working around the clock, and my full-time job was just taking chunks out of my free time. And I was like, okay, why did I do this? But things have eased up since then for both of us. And
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. It's really awesome.
I think if you have the ability to delegate stuff and trust other people to do some of it,
It's something
that
I'm
it will
working
last
on.
a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think at that point, at least in my life, I would ask anyone to do anything. Like when we were doing Comix
Well,
Party.
that's why Comix Party
I'm just
was-
saying that's why it couldn't keep going. Because it was like,
Right.
so much.
what was the phrase? It's like, you take all the risk, you get all the reward.
You do all the work, you keep all the profit was the
Yeah.
fucking slogan. But that's like still crass and ironic because we could not ask for help. We were in pain constantly and still couldn't even ask our buds to like, can you like drop in for a couple hours and like help us with this thing? And then we accidentally got freaking fantastic volunteers like Carter Taranis.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Like we said, like, would you like to volunteer? And here's a Google form for when you could volunteer. But like Carter Taranis showed up, busted his hump like noon to night.
Yeah, Miranda.
Yeah. And
Like, we
and
wouldn't have
Miranda,
had
like,
anyone like at the front desk. Like, that's how crazy it was. But all these people showed up at the last minute and they all helped.
Yeah, I'm
Incredibly.
actually thinking I have a couple of like close friends who are going to volunteer. We have no idea what the first year is going to look like. We don't know if it's going to be 5 people that come through during the 8-hour event or if it's going to be 500 people that come through. So I have a few friends, but I'm nervous and I'm like, some people can't be there all the time. I had several people drop out due to, whatever circumstances. So I'm like, I should try to find more volunteers.
That's the way. That's the way. I think that will keep it going
Yeah.
the longest, I feel
Yeah.
like,
That and I play the long game. I don't play the short game when I plan things. So like I had my spreadsheets, I had my docs, I had my task lists, and I planned out at least like 3 months in advance, like what had to happen by what date. So I was looking at the road the whole time, like, all right, we're on board, like we're good. And it just has come together so beautifully. I'm very excited, especially because there is only 2 of us, and I know there were only 2 of you. So I'm glad to see that that I could have. Like, I'm glad to see him doing okay,
And I also don't want to just like have this be we're projecting all of our failures onto you or whatever. But I think the reason like it makes me keep thinking of Comix Party is that like in my mind you are like that's the spiritual successor to like because you have like
That's cool.
you have a good attitude and you're excited about stuff and you're organized and talented. It's like an
Thanks.
impossible combination that most people don't have. So
Thank
it's
you.
very I'm very excited to be there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm also just super excited, and it's so strange to think about because I had gone to and tabled at the Detroit Comics parties, and now I'm like, oh, why don't you come to mine? Like, I'm like the kid who finally got out of his parents' house and is like, we can play video games at my place this time, okay? Like, we can read zines on my living room floor.
Yeah.
At this point, we should be very clear to say exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so I almost said Detroit Comics Party.
Detroit Comics
Zine
Party
Fest.
3.
Boy, that's some serious projection. It went
Right.
into your mind.
You trained me.
I live
No.
for the Freudian
Go ahead.
slip.
Yeah.
But no, Detroit Zine Fest is happening on March 5th on a Saturday. It is from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it's free to the public. I'm going to be there all day from just set up to tear down, and it's at the Jam Handy Detroit, which is on 2900 East Grand Boulevard in Detroit, Michigan, 48202. I'm so excited because we managed to get a parking lot right next door. So free parking. Like, we were like, we don't care, we'll pay for it, free parking. Like,
Did you buy the parking lot so that you could offer free parking?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
That's
ours.
baller as hell.
No, but it's a one day. I wish I could buy just the whole everything, because the Jam Handy is nice. Have you ever?
Oh yeah.
I'd never heard of it. Never heard of it. We actually had a venue that we set up in 2019 for DZF 2020, and it fell through. They postponed it for a year. They held it for a year for us, and we picked a new date and everything. But eventually, things just, they didn't survive in these trying times. And they were like, we're so sorry, we'll give you a refund, so on and so forth. So I went to work and I started searching and contacting, and no one wants you to sell things at places. So I'm asking people, can we sell things at place? And they're like, God, no. Like, you cannot. So I had so many emails in my inbox, and among all those emails of like, do not contact me again, it was just one person that was like, I like zines. It was Simeon at the Jam Handy, and I was just like, you really like zines? And Simeon was so freaking awesome. Like, it's normally a very, like, it's such a nice space, and it's normally like a wedding venue.
I've seen it done up like 5 completely different ways.
I didn't know it existed. I just found it. I thought the website was very nice. I looked through the Instagram, the Facebook, did the whole shebang, and reached out, and I was surprised that Simeon was like, yeah, absolutely, like, let's talk, and
That's cool.
actually
I think
offered.
it'll be a great venue for this.
It is such a good venue. It's literally my dream venue. It has everything I could have wanted. It's accessible. It is big enough for us to have like ADA compliant aisleways. It has ADA compliant bathroom, which is very important to me. It has multiple rooms. It has very nice lighting, because we almost went with a different venue that was literally a dark garage, and we were like, I guess we have to spend all the table money on lights, like, so that I'm glad we could avoid that. And the Jam Handy's is just gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. And there's 2 big rooms, so it's not like, hopefully we can keep the traffic flowing throughout the rooms. We're gonna have signage, and
there's not a lot of
nice
obstacles in there. It's pretty open.
Exactly, it's nice and open, and there's even a room for quiet, which I'm very excited for. We're going to have a quiet room with a zine swap table. Sweet. So you can come and just put a zine down and pick a zine up and, decompress for a minute.
That sounds cool, decompressing. Yeah. Well, we are actually out of time already.
Oh, yeah.
That was fast.
But I did want to mention that the one feature of the Jam Handy that you didn't mention, which came to my mind, was that you got the venue that is across the street from where we did ours, which is a stunt on us so hard my fucking eyeballs are going to explode.
I mean, it ain't tricking if you got it, dude.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being
having
here.
me.
It's so nice
Both
to have
of you.
a real
Thank you
show
for
with
coming.
people in person and everything. And we're super looking forward to the show.
Thank you so much. Again, it's March 5th. On a Saturday. I keep forgetting to say Saturday before March 5th. And at the Jam Handy in Detroit. So I'm excited.
And what time does it open again?
It opens at 11 a.m.
11, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
I was very excited about
Sweet.
that. And
Okay.
it's a very good event.
We're going to see you then.
We'll see you
Heck
then.
yeah.
And everybody else of audience, we'll see you then too. Because if you don't go, you'll have to stop watching this show.